Well, we can cross now over to our correspondent in Beijing, Charles Pellegrin. Charles, it sounds like it has now been given the green light and those World Health Organization experts allowed into China. What more can you tell us?
Absolutely. A one-sentence statement from the Chinese National Health Commission saying that the team of 10 experts from the World Health Organization will be able to come to China on Thursday this week and will be able to start their work figuring out what the origins of this new coronavirus are. At least China always saying in statements and in speeches that they are open and supportive to this World Health Organization investigation, explaining that China, like every other country, has to benefit from better understanding this virus and from preventing any future outbreaks of infectious diseases in the future. But the reality has been more complicated. It's been a tense environment for this investigation, starting with the fact that the investigators were supposed to arrive in China last week, but didn't get their authorizations from the Chinese authorities on time. And this had pushed the chief of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, to say that he was disappointed in the Chinese authorities. And all this is because China has been the target of many criticisms with regards to its management of the COVID-19 pandemic on its own territory, especially at the very beginning of it in late 2019, early 2020. Many countries saying that it lacked in transparency. So these investigators from the World Health Organization really working in difficult circumstances. They'll be arriving on Thursday and will start by spending 2 weeks in isolation, as is regulation for any people entering the Chinese territory from now on. And after that, they can start their several weeks of investigation jointly with Chinese scientists. And it's not clear where their itinerary will be exactly at this point. It's not even clear if they will be able to go to Wuhan.
And Charles, this news comes as China is reporting its biggest daily rise in COVID-19 cases in some 5 months. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. This latest spike in daily cases of COVID-19 mostly can be tracked down to one particular cluster of domestic infections in Hebei province in northeast China. That's a province that's neighboring Beijing. And the provincial authorities there are still working on figuring out what happened in this particular case. The investigators saying that so far they've managed to find out that the earliest infection in that particular cluster happened before December 15th, so relatively a long time ago, when the first cases that were signaled to the authorities were just over a week ago. Also explaining that they have no links to any other clusters of domestic infection in China, and saying that the strain of this particular virus in Hebei province is the European strain. So all this showing two things. First off, that there's an important role played by asymptomatic carriers, where the virus was undetected for a while. A number of these carriers went to gatherings or to weddings where they infected other people. And the other thing to point out here is the fact that this particular cluster and this investigation shows that it's following the national line when it comes to the origins of COVID-19. It's always traced back to a foreign origin. And that's always been the case with most of the other clusters of domestic infection in China since the beginning of this pandemic. And authorities also pushing that same sort of hypothesis when it comes to the original cluster of infections for the COVID-19 pandemic in Wuhan.
Indeed. Charles, for now, thanks very much indeed. Charles Pellegrin there coming to us from Beijing.